Hey guys, today we're going to do reverse tie-dye, and if you've ever been to camp with me, you know that this is one of my favorite activities to do at camp is tie-dye. But since we're not at camp and the camp kits or the tie-dye kits that you can purchase at the store can get a little pricey, especially if there's multiple one of you guys at home. We're going to use bleach instead of dye today. Okay, so you'll need a dark piece of clothing, and the shirt that I'm wearing is actually what it's kind of the idea of what it's going to look like. This is the pattern. If you've been with me at camp, you know I love this pattern. I make it a lot. It's just an old shirt that I did and using bleach. I've got two old shirts here that I'm going to use today. I've got one that is colored, and actually I wore it to camp year before last, and we got dye kind of splashed on the front of it. It's one of my 4-H shirts. I'm going to try it out today. And then I have an old t-shirt that has a bleach stain on it already. Kind of see it there in the middle. So I'm going to use it as well. So you don't have to buy anything new. The only thing I wouldn't recommend using is something white, because the bleach, it's already white and it's not going to show anything up. Okay, you're going to need a bowl, of course your bleach, a bottle, and I'm using what's like a ketchup bottle. Okay, you can also use like a Gatorade or water bottle that has the pull top, not a regular one that you just screw the lid off and drink out of, but one that has kind of so you can squeeze it on there and have a bit of control of your bleach and water solution. You're definitely going to need rubber bands or string. If you don't have rubber bands, you can use string to tie your shirt together to make your pattern. I've also got a wire rack that I'm going to use. I'm going to put it over my bowl and lay my shirt on top of it so that the bleach runs down in the bowl so I can reuse it. And I've got a cup to pour the bleach from the bowl back into my container. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my shirts to the sink and I'm going to wet them. I like wetting them when I'm using the bleach, because for me it feels like I have a little better control with bleach where it's spreading, and it just seems to do a little better. So take your shirt and take it to the sink and get it completely wet, and then when you get it wet, make sure you drain out the excess water. We don't need to be dripping water everywhere. It don't have to be that soaking wet. Okay, so I'm going to wet these real quick and I'll be right back. Okay guys, now I've got my shirt damp. You can see that it's wet and damp. It's not sopping wet. There's not water going everywhere, but wet enough that for us to do this. Now, when it comes to the pattern you want, I'm going to show you the one that was on my shirt that you saw at the beginning of the video that I have on. I'm going to show you that one, but if you'd like a different pattern, you can always Google it and watch a YouTube video or Pinterest. They have lots of different ideas. So let's do the one I've got on. Now, some people will use a fork to help twist it. I don't. And the one I have on is kind of in the center of my shirt, but this one I want the swirl to start here. So I'm actually going to pull this down a little bit so I can get to it. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to pinch where I want the center, the bullseye to be, and I'm going to start twisting. Okay? And I want to keep it as tight as I can, and I'm going to have it kind of gather it as I go along, because the more of these that I have kind of pinch it up like this, the folds, the better the more sections you'll have the dye on your swirl. Okay, and usually it takes me a couple times. I'm a bit of a perfectionist when I go to do this, and just kind of keep swirling it and make my fabric keep going around it. Okay. Okay, so there's my swirl. I'm going to take my rubber bands, get me out a handful here. And I don't pick it up just yet, I always run it underneath it so that I don't lose it. And you put just as many as you want or need. Okay. All right. So there's that one. lay it to the side. Here's my gray shirt that I'm going to use. Same pattern. But instead I'm going to, and I'm going to flip it over on the back where I have my bleach stain. And I'm actually going to make this the center, okay? Again, the more of the little folds that you have, you can help it as it twists. The more your dye, the cooler it's going to look. Now guys, while I'm doing this, when you go to dye, make sure you have some old everyday clothes on, something you don't care to get bleach on, and because it could splash. I don't want to ruin any of your clothes. Okay. There's lots of videos out there on YouTube about tie-dyeing, how to tie your designs. People that are way more experienced than me. Okay, I think I'm gonna stop there. All right, let's dye. Let's use some bleach to tie-dye our shirts now, okay? I'm gonna go to the sink. Okay, I'm gonna dye my colored shirt first. Now, I didn't dilute my bleach for this shirt because it's a thicker shirt, okay? And I want straight bleach for it. Now, I'm going to save the bleach from this one and dilute the bleach for my next shirt because this material is a little bit thicker and you don't have to worry about the bleach eating away and making holes in it as bad as I would the other one. The other one's kind of a thinner material, even though it's cotton. And I'm going to dilute the solution for it so that it doesn't hopefully make any holes in my shirt. Okay, so what I'm going to do, and guys, I again suggest you wear old clothes or even a smock or an apron so that if you get it splashed on you, maybe even some gloves if you have sensitive skin. Okay, now I'm going to start right here in the center, just following the swirl, going all the way around. Okay. All right, there is that side. I'm going to flip it over. Now I'm going to do the back side. I'm going to follow the same pattern. Okay, so there is that shirt with the bleach on it. We're going to let it sit. Now, I don't have an exact time to let it sit. I kind of eyeball it and watch it because it's going to start fading out here in a minute. And I kind of watch it and see how long. Since it's straight bleach, I'm not going to leave it on there quite as long as I will my other one. Okay, and I can already see it lightening up a little bit over here. Okay, actually I think I'm going to put just a little more bleach on this side. Okay, all right, so I'm going to lay this one to the side. I've got a tub for it to sit in. Actually, I'm going to let it drip a little bit more. Okay, I'm going to put it in this tub here. And then I'm going to recycle my bleach that I've used and mix up a new bottle. Okay, I'm going to dilute the bleach solution this time. Don't want straight bleach. I'm going to use about 1/4 of water. Can you kind of see it there? I don't know if you can see it. The light's awful bright right here. And then I'm going to fill the rest of it up with bleach for my gray shirt. So, I'm going to actually rinse this bottle off just a little bit. I got some bleach on the side. Okay. All right, now let's get the gray shirt. Okay. And actually, I'm going to be a little heavier in the middle on this one. And then side. Okay, flip it over. Oh, you can already see, look at that. You can already see the bleach. Be heavy in the middle. And then wow, can you guys see that? You can already see the bleach where it's changing the colors on the shirt. That is awesome. All right, I'm going to let this one set for a little longer than the other one, and then after I feel like they're set long enough to get the color that I want, I'm going to kind of keep an eye on as they're fading, and when I reach the color that I like, I'm going to check them every little bit too, every 30 seconds, a minute, just to see how they're going, because I don't want the bleach to eat through the fabric. Okay, all right, and I'll see you in just a minute. Okay guys, I've let this one set for about 2-3 minutes, 5 at the max. Okay, it's not been sitting too long. You can really see how it has changed. Now the other one, it's not changed color too much yet, so I'm going to let it set longer, but I'm going to go ahead and rinse this one. Okay. Finished shirt, the dark one. The one that had color, I let it set for about 30 minutes and it didn't even look like the bleach had done anything to it. So maybe you should just use a dark shirt, play around with it, see what happens. But there is my reverse tie-dye. I hope you guys enjoy this and have a great time. Stay safe.